Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor, back with another action-packed session. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get the money to get more houses in 2024. So how to qualify with private money lenders, people who will give you the capital to do deals. But if somebody's going to give you the money to do deals, you have to be able to find good deals. So we're going to do a little bit of whiteboarding today. So if you like whiteboarding or you learn better through illustrations, you're definitely going to enjoy this session. So make sure you stick around because I'm going to do some whiteboarding and show you what a deal needs to look like in order for like 100% lender. These are the lenders that give you 100% of the money to purchase and renovate, what it needs to look like for them to qualify the deal. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk a lot about those different 100% lenders or even private money lenders. And guys, you don't know this, but we have some real private money lenders within our inner circle. So within our 24/7 cash flow community, we have people who are emerging and saying, Brian, I want to fund deals for some of the members of the 24/7 cash flow family. So I want to step up and fund some deals. I want to help with if people need like down payment or earnest money assistance, if people need assistance with getting deals funded and getting to the finish line. We have some people who are sitting on serious capital who are looking to help out. So definitely tap into our programs if you're interested in any of that. We have the real estate ride along, the next real estate ride along tour, August 31st, Saturday. You'll spend a day with me in Philly, touring properties. You've seen that on my Instagram or on the YouTube shorts. Definitely tap into that if you can. I don't know if we'll do another one this year. So that'll be an important one to attend. We have the Boots on the Ground program, of course, where we find, finance, rehab, tenant, and manage properties for you at 5%. We property manage at 5%. If you're interested in that, if you've been struggling to get deals going, you're in an overpriced market, and you're like, Brian, can you just do this for me? Can you find a property for me? We closed on 6 deals in the last 30 days, and we just put another 9 under contract for our Boots on the Ground members. So the market's picking up. There's lots of opportunity. Reach out, DM me, Boots on the Ground. I'll put a link in the description. I need to do it on, let me see if I copy and pasted it. Yeah, I did. I just dropped a link in the chat as well. And that is going to give you guys access to my stress test tool. So you can click and tap into that stress test tool. Let me see. We're not using the app. Give me 1 second here. I'm not sure what happened to my IG, but we should still be good. There we go. So make sure you guys tap into that. So let's get into this stuff, guys. Mindset. I almost skipped through mindset for today. The mindset for today is pretty simple. Check your avoidance behavior. Keep an eye on your avoidance behavior. And I get to the blessing of talking to lots of you, right? Like a lot of you guys throughout the week, throughout the month. I'm always hearing from you guys, and I get to hear all the excuses as to why we're not investing in real estate. Oh, I'm going to get around to it. Oh, I'm going to go on vacation. Oh, I just want to set myself up first. Oh, I'm just waiting for the market to change. Check on your avoidance behavior, because your avoidance behavior can really hold you back in this game. The market will not wait for you. Right now, this is about, in my opinion, as good as the market is going to get. It will open up more opportunities, but in terms of pricing, the market pricing is going to increase from here as rates go down. So if you're sitting on the sideline just waiting, because really out of fear, it really is an avoidance behavior. You're afraid to get started. You think you need to learn more to get started. Brian, I would invest. I'm just trying to make sure I know everything. I just want to know everything before I get started. You'll never know everything. Even I don't know everything, even at this level, because there's so much in the real estate stratosphere that you'll never know everything. You could live a whole lifetime. There's 101 ways to make money in real estate, and you don't need to know every way. You don't need to know every iota of information in order to go out and get success and make serious money. You can make more money in a month in real estate than you make working a year at your 9 to 5. Oh, like seriously, in a month, in 30 days versus your 9 to 5 all year. And that's knowing maybe 10% of what I teach you in our course, in our mentorship program, just knowing 10% of that. So make sure you guys stay tapped in and just get past your avoidance behavior, get past those hurdles and roadblocks, and continue to push yourself, and you'll be more successful long term. Let's get into the whiteboarding. So in order to get a deal funded by a 100% lender, there are some parameters that the deal needs to meet. So let's take this as a single family starter home. I'm going to put 3-1 for a 3-bed, 1-bath. Let me shift this on IG so that they have access. Give me a second here. I'm just going to shift you guys. So that's a 3-1. So let's say we were going and buying this property for 80K. So I'm just going to put 80,000. I'm going to put 80K over here. So we're buying that property for 80K, and I've done my analysis to say, well, this property is going to appraise for about 215,000. So I'll put ARV and then 215. Okay. So 215,000 is going to be the appraised amount. I just got a question through. I'll get into that. So buying it at 80,000, we're buying it in like that 40 cents on the dollar range, which is good. And then I'm going to put in 60K of renovations. So I looked at the video, I sent in an inspector, and they got back to me. I looked at the numbers, I crunched it with my deal analysis tool. So if you guys want that tool, the link is in IG, it's in the chat, and it's in the chat section of this. So you guys can click on that link and tap into that tool, that deal analysis stress tester tool. But I'm going to put in 60. So all in, if I draw a line through this deal, these two numbers, 140 is about 65%. You can pull out your calculator of 215,000. So because it's about 65% of the 215,000, 100% lender will come in and finance this deal. They will give us 80 grand to buy the property, and they will give us the $60,000 to rehab the property. So they're going to give you all the capital. You just pay the friction on the deal. So even if you get a private money lender or 100% lender, somebody who's going to give you the money to purchase and renovate, there's always a cost associated with investing in real estate. That cost would be your closing cost. So there are things like transfer taxes, interest, something called origination fees, which if somebody lends you money, they're going to charge you some type of fee for processing the loan. And that's usually somewhere between 2 to 3% of the loan amount. But as a flat rule, if I take this 140, the typical closing cost that you'll deal with a 100% lender is around 10% of the loan amount, 10, maybe 12%. So I'll put that around 14K, which would be 10% of 140 to about 18K. That's what it's going to cost you. So if you were coming to the table and you're like, hey, I want to get this deal done, you're going to have to show up with about $14,000 to $18,000 to get a deal done on like a $215,000 property, $140,000 loan. That's not a bad deal. And we even have, like I said, private money lenders and transactional lenders who will step in and give you that 14K to get into the deal. So even if you're starting off and you're like, look, B, I got $5 grand, but I want to get a deal done. Can you help me? We actually have people who will step up and help you to get deals funded that are within the 24/7 Cash Flow University. They're actually in the Inner Circle program. And it's a reason why, you know, if you're even nervous about the boots on the ground program, you're not quite ready yet or at that level, but you still want to learn this game and get started with very little capital, or you want to wholesale or do any of those things, but you still don't have a lot of capital. It's a reason to tap into the Inner Circle and start to network within the group, because the Inner Circle is very powerful. It's not just me. There are lots of people in that program who are doing deals all across the country, and they can get you guys tapped in. There's different contractor networks, and there's private money lending networks. But about 14,000, and this is on a property like this, a starter home, 3-bed, 1-bath. Right now in Philly, rent for about $17.88 a month in kind of the lower end zip codes, and you'll cash flow about $500 a month off a deal like that. That's after you pay like property management expenses, different fees, all of those costs. Now, how do you recover this money? Say I was starting off and I'm trying to do the birth strategy and I want to recover the money that I'm putting out in closing costs. Well, after you build the house at 65% with somebody else's money, with 100% lender, somebody's giving you 100% OPM, you just refinance out of the deal. You can go to the credit union. You can go to some of the different lenders out there. They're called portfolio lenders, and they'll give you the money through a refinance. They'll give you 75 to 80% of this 215 number. So 75 is like 161,000. So I would get 161K. I would pay off the 140. I'd have a mortgage associated with it, and I'd be cash flowing, as long as I have this property tenanted like Section 8, cash flowing about $500 a month. Pay off this loan and recover as much as those costs as possible. So if I can refinance out at 160 and I only owe 140, that creates I'm going to write it in here, a $20,000 spread. That $20,000 spread can help me to recover on this $14,000 to $18,000 worth of closing costs. There are going to be some closing costs associated with this loan, but that 20K is also going to cover some of those. Those closing costs are only about 5%. So 100% loan, about 10%. The closing costs on your refinance, about 5%, because there's just lower fees and less of them. So overall, let's say I had $5,000 locked in this deal at the end of the transaction, but it's cash flowing me $500 a month. That's 100% plus, cash on cash return annually. That's a good deal. And for the average person, that allows you to continue to save and stack up your money and do more deals. Do one deal, do two deals, do three deals in your first year, and then continue to recycle. This is the exact strategy that I used to do around a little bit over 300 deals in about 5 to 7 years. This is the exact strategy. Finding the properties that fit within these buckets. Can I buy them and renovate them at 65 cents on the dollar or less? Is the appraisal relatively conservative? How good am I on my construction numbers? Do I know how to build my construction budgets? Things you need to learn if you don't know, but things that you should not procrastinate with. You should not sit on the sideline with, because sitting on the sideline doesn't teach you how to build rehab budgets. Waiting out the market doesn't teach you how to find properties at 40 cents on the dollar. It just sets you back. And the further you set yourself back, the more you're going to hurt yourself. It's just the bottom line. You're just going to continue to hurt yourself and miss opportunity after opportunity after opportunity until you get left behind. So learning some of this stuff now, even if you don't think you're ready, you have to take that leap of faith. You have to jump. You have to get in the game. And then you will get to the next level as soon as you get in, because you'll realize, wow, I can actually make money without knowing nearly as much as I thought. And you're going to learn better by just getting a conservative deal done. But these are the parameters that you'll need to look at and stay on top of to get a 100% deal, or even to go to somebody who's a private money lender who wants to give you capital to invest in real estate and say, hey, I got a good deal. Here are the numbers. If you show up to the table with a deal like this, somebody will give you 100% of the money to do this deal, or they'll partner with you, or you can get a private money lender who's interested, because it's asset backed at 65% of the after repair value. So after I build it, I built essentially 35% of 215. I built about $75,000 worth of equity into the deal. If you just take 215 minus 140, I built $75,000 of equity by finding this deal and renovating it. So not only are you getting higher net worth on your balance sheet, but you're just showing up to the table with a very secure deal that's going to cash flow, and a lot of people fund it. So focus on that. Focus on getting deals that cash flow, that are relatively conservative, that have good purchase price to ARV spreads, and get better on your rehab budgets. By joining the Inner Circle program, you can always reach out. There's links in the description. You can tap into them. You'll get all that education that you need and all the guidance. We meet once a week live on a Zoom, a private Zoom call. And not only are you going to learn from me, but you're going to learn from people who are doing deals all across the country, just from their questions, the stages of projects that they're at, how they're scaling past, 10, 15 deals. You're going to pick up a lot of information. I've already had people, reaching out saying, wow, man, I mean, just being a fly on the wall, I've learned more about tenanting or Section 8, things that I had questions about. They didn't even get to ask them because other people were asking them. So I hope that helps, guys. Watch this over again so you understand how these deals break out, because a lot of people don't get how these deals work because they're constantly asking me, how do the numbers work? Is it 65 cents? Will they really give you 100%? Are there any closing costs? This will give you a good overview of how these things work and what you need to do. Any questions, comments, drop in the chat section. I'll shift over to a couple questions and then we'll put a bow on this end. Hey, Brian, do you not have the upfront money? If you don't have the upfront money, then what do you do? Is what I think the question is. If you don't have the upfront money, then you need somebody called a transactional lending partner. So a transactional lender is someone who will come in and give you the money to handle the transaction. So to just get the deal funded. So if you had 100% lender and they're like, hey, you need $20,000 to close, you could get a transactional funding partner to come and put up that 20K and provide liquidity. You can learn how to invest without cash or credit. You can learn about creative financing and how to do subject to and lease purchase options and still partner with like a transactional lender. So there's just a lot of options. For every obstacle, there's a workaround in the real estate game. You don't need cash or credit in real estate. You just need knowledge and skill sets and resources and teams and relationships. Those are way more valuable than cash and credit will ever be. To the degree where if you had relationships only, but really good ones and good knowledge, you wouldn't need any money or any credit. And you could still invest, buy houses, raise money. You could do a lot of things. So you don't need cash or credit. Cash and credit are cool and they will help you certainly to hit your goals faster or with less resistance. But you can go around those obstacles all day by just going with like creative financing and finding distressed sellers. Motivated sellers cure all because they're looking to cut a deal. And that deal could be, hey, I'm just going to do a lease purchase option. I'm going to pay you out of the cash flow of the property. You can raise money. Like there's just different ways to structure these deals. So you don't have to get stuck in that scenario where you can't get ahead. Monica said, hey, Brian, are the inner circle calls recorded for viewing if you missed? Yes, they are recorded. I started recording these calls. I recorded the first inner circle call and then the last one that we did last week. So I'm recording them weekly and then I'm uploading them into the course content. So the course content is going to continue to get more and more robust. And these inner circle calls, I mean, to a degree, you can't script all of this stuff because people are they're asking questions. Sometimes people are popping in, they're closing on deals in St. Louis and different markets across the country. People are doing so much stuff that I think the value of the inner circle is not only the learning, but it's truly the networking opportunity for those who take advantage of it to start networking, because people are investing actively in the markets you guys are thinking about. We can certainly tap you into the Philadelphia market through the Boots on the Ground program, and that's the top 10 cash flow city. So that's going to be overall, good for you and make you some money. But you might want to invest in St. Louis. You might want to invest in Chicago. You might want to invest in Indiana. You might, be anywhere, Colorado. You might be in, anywhere down south, Florida. You could be in Michigan. We have people in all of these markets in the program, and they'll pop in and they'll be talking to you about the deals they're doing, how much money they're making, the roadblocks that they're running into. We'll talk our way around them and show them how to navigate them. But I mean, this stuff really puts you in a driver's seat, in my opinion. It puts you in a driver's seat. It gives you different networks and connections. So definitely tap in and reach out. You can watch the replays and you're going to get a lot of game because there's really no other way to get game like this. Like you might get a question on an inner circle call where somebody's like, hey, I'm in the middle of the deal. I, ran into this permitting issue and they shut my project down for this reason. They said I need an engineering report. Like we start getting into the weeds, but that information is what you can't find anywhere. other than from people who are actively developing, but also know the tricks of the trade. They know how to get around things. Oh, if this happens, here's a loophole that nobody really knows about, and I know about because of experience. You're going to pick up that type of information on the inner circle calls. So the inner circle calls are beyond valuable. Like we started off early on in the mentorship program doing like inner circle type of calls on private Zoom, and then we started doing these live calls like we're doing now, and we got away from it a bit. But we had a smaller group when we first started. Now the group is like, there's so many people who are part of the 24/7 Cash Flow University that when they come and tap in, it's like, man, these people are crossing over 10 plus deals, doing multifamilies, doing ground up. They're doing extreme things out there all across the country. So the learning has really enhanced over the course of time. Quick question for Lachey, what are the best loan packages for multi-units, 4 to 5 and commercial? You really want to go to a portfolio lender. You really want to go to a portfolio lender and see what they have. So even that question, like a 4-unit is residential. Everything over 4 units is commercial. So the 5 and the 6 plus fall into a different bucket. So they have different products available to them at different interest rates, different loan to values. So you can maybe even refinance out more than 80%. Like I know some of these commercial loans will go up to like 90% on the refinance because they try to stretch it out. Some of these commercial loans will go to 40%. 40-year terms instead of 30-year repayment terms, and have been doing that for years, even though the 40-year mortgage is still kind of new and something that I think we're still going to see roll out, especially as prices go a little bit higher. We're going to see it roll out. But that's what you're going to see there. So talk to the portfolio lenders, shop it around, get a broker. I want to talk about this. Get a broker, get a mortgage broker. When I first started off as a real estate investor, I had a mortgage broker. I still like mortgage brokers because they can shop around for you. They network, they go to different events, they meet people, they push the lender, they nest inside of the lenders, and they build different relationships, and they can move certain levers and get things done. They do come at a cost. A mortgage broker is going to charge some type of fee, maybe 2% of the loan amount. It depends. But I like mortgage brokers because they provide leverage. Everyone in real estate is not a middleman. There are middlemen, and then there's leverage. And you have to learn the difference. I've talked about this before, probably on inner circle calls. But you have to know the difference between middlemen and leverage to win in real estate. Because if you don't, you become penny wise, pound foolish. You start cutting out all of the leverage out of your business, thinking that everyone's a middleman, and they're not. And it's not until you cut them out that you're like, oh, wait, I have to do all that paperwork. Oh, wait, I have to do this. That you start learning, oh, no, they provided extreme leverage. And with leverage, you can stay in your position. You can keep finding profitable deals. That's your number one position, is finding profitable deals. If all you did, anybody watching this, is wake up and go find profitable deals as your main focus, you will build an empire. Because if you can find profitable deals, you can easily bring contractors to the table because there's going to be enough room for them to navigate those deals and make money. You can easily find the money from lenders and private money lenders and people who want to fund those deals and be a part of those deals. They'll cash flow because you're finding them at a profit point where you can buy them low enough to the ground and rehab them, so they'll cash flow. And if they're cash flowing, that means you can survive downturns, recessions. You don't care where pricing goes. And that cash flow is going to accumulate more capital for you to buy more properties long term. So then just sticking with that process, you're building it's like a recipe. You're just building this recycling process, assembly line, where you can continue to print out deals. But it all starts with finding profitable deals. That's what we're doing in the Boots on the Ground program. The number one job of the Boots on the Ground program, find profitable deals. Especially after I've done over 300 full gut renovations, because to a degree, the properties can almost build themselves. It feels like that. They're not. And there's a lot of work that I'm doing behind the scenes, right? But it feels so second nature now. It feels like walking and breathing, that it's like, man, these houses will build themselves as long as you buy them right, because you know what you're buying. So the real efforting, the real focus is in finding the good deals. And that's why you need to click that link that I posted and grab that stress test tool. Grab that deal analysis tool and learn how to stress test deals and how to evaluate deals and how to find profitable deals. The most important thing you can do with your time. Heck, if you could find profitable deals and find somebody who wants to invest, you could partner with them on it. They might come with the cash to fund the profitable deal. So it's just extremely important that you do this. Hemi said, I'm a beginner at the moment, need to know how to start out. How to start out is by investing in your education. That's how to start out. Well, you can start out one of two ways. One, you can invest in your education. That's probably the smartest way to start out, but it's not the only. You can just run into the game. Take your capital and try to run into the game with no mentorship, with no knowledge. And then you'll learn from the school of hard knocks. You'll get beat over the head. You'll get robbed by contractors. You'll make costly mistakes until you figure it out. And hopefully you survive that. If you don't want to if you're not a glutton for punishment and you don't want to go through all of that, then you will learn by getting mentorship, picking somebody like me's brain, asking questions, shooting out texts, going to the inner circle, networking, talking to other people, hearing their questions and the responses, and learn from other people and their mistakes. That's the best way to get started. But the key is to get started, to get off of the sideline, to not listen to your excuse, that voice in your head that says, well, we'll get started, but after I do this, I'll get started after I set up the LLC. LLC never gets set up. You never get started. I'll get started after the vacation. Go on a vacation, blow all your money, never get started. I'll get it, once I stack back up. You stack back up, book another vacation, go on another vacation, never get started. Get a year older, get another year older. This is what happens to people. They keep talking and they have the same excuses. You guys just don't talk to each other, but I'm talking to a lot of you. So I'm hearing it and it's like, here's another one. They're stuck in that excuse and they can't get past it. And they think that it's going to be waiting for them, or that they're not getting older, or that it matters, like these excuses. And they just don't. Being skeptical can hurt you. You should have a little bit of skepticism. Or I won't even call it skepticism. Skepticism usually hurts you. No one ever made money being skeptical. Nobody ever said, I was skeptical, that's why I'm a millionaire. I haven't seen it, at least. I've never seen a millionaire get on an interview and say, I was highly skeptical of every opportunity that crossed my desk. That's how I became a millionaire. No. Having discernment, being able to see this is a good opportunity, this is not, maybe this one doesn't make sense. That can get you some type of results or get you to a different level. But it's purely being skeptical, it doesn't do anything for you at the end of the day, but holds you back. Because a year from now, you're still skeptical. You're still not taking any opportunities, and you're stuck in a 9-to-5. If you want to be skeptical of something, be skeptical of the result of working a 9-to-5 for 30 years. Some of us believe that at the end, we're going to just magically be able to retire. I'm skeptical of that. That's what I'm skeptical of, that you're magically going to be able to retire off a $60K salary because you worked 30 years. You're not. But if you save that $60K salary appropriately and you start to reinvest it, and your properties appreciate and your rents go up and your cash flow goes up, you are going to be able to retire. You're going to retire a long time before you ever work a 9-to-5 for 30 years. But being skeptical hurts you. Having discernment can help you, because you can discern between the bad opportunities and the good opportunities. You can see what's right in front of you and what makes sense. But being skeptical, being fear-based, or procrastinating, pushing it off. Think, like, how could you push off starting real estate investing to start an LLC when you don't even know how to invest in real estate? Learn how to invest in real estate. Just go. Stop waiting. Life is very short. Stop waiting, especially for nominal amounts of money. Like, realistically, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, I got burned for 50 grand. I got burned for 50K by a GC on like my first heavier renovation projects. And even that at the end of the day is nominal. In the grand scheme of life, you can earn it back. You can do a deal and recover on it. It's nominal. The learning I got from getting burned was maybe life-changing, to the point where I'm not even angry about it. It was part of the journey. Now, it's not a part of the journey that most people could survive. I live pretty low to the ground, and I save a lot of my money. So most people can't survive that. But having survived that and learned a lot how to take control, and then giving you guys that knowledge, like, you can just get it without having to go through all that pain. But that I would definitely recommend. The Mad Millionaire said, love the inner circle. Clay said, do you do any properties in New Jersey? New Jersey prices, I sold most of my properties in Jersey because the prices ran up so high. I mean, I had one deal I bought it from the bank for 75K from the bank. Maybe I put 20K into it. And this was a long time ago. And it cash flowed about $1,000 a month. It appraised much higher over the years. I think I sold it for like 240 or something like that. And now it's probably worth like 310, 320. So I just cashed it and then got into some other deals. But Jersey is overpriced right now. So it's not the best market. You'd be better off in Delaware than Jersey. You'd be better off in Philly and Delaware than most parts of Jersey. And that's even, South Jersey, Camden County. The prices are really high. I've seen the prices in New Jersey go up, like, no lie, about $100,000 to $150,000 per property across the board. Like singles and multis, they all went up about 100 to 150K in like 2 years. From 2021 to 2023, everything went up 100K. I was like, oh my God. But I saw it coming a long time ago. I didn't have my capital in a position to do it. And I was so focused on Philly. At this time, I'm buying hundreds of properties in Philly. So year over year. So I wasn't really focused on Jersey, but Jersey's prices went up, and I already had some properties in Jersey. So I already had some diversification there. Right now, my favorite markets are Philly and Baltimore. Cleveland's got some nice stuff, but the market is not fully developed yet. Jay, how and why is it easier? Why is it easier to scale to do 5 to 10 deals at once after I picked up 2 to 3 properties with you? So how and why is it easier? One, because you already have the lending relationships and you have a track record. When you do a deal with me through the Boots on the Ground program, you own 100% of the property, which means you get 100% of the credit for the rehab. So I'm just the guy behind the scenes, right? I'm doing all the rehab. I'm finding the deal. I'm getting the tenants in. I'm doing everything, right? But you're on the front line. You're getting all the credit. So if you get all that credit with the lenders, when it's time for you to go do 5 to 10, you're going to have a track record. They're going to say, well, have you done any deals? And you're going to say, yeah, look at my track record. And it's yours. It's not my name on it. It's yours. And your LLC. So that's going to help you out tremendously. 2, you're going to have a feel for the rehab process because you're going to have going through it. Even though it's me doing it, you're going to go through that process kind of like frequently over and over again. So having that experience is going to make you better at doing 5 to 10 deals on your own, completely on your own, like even remotely out of the state. You could be out of the country trying to do this, but you're going to have a sense for the rehab should take this long and it should cost this much because I'm sending you deal analysis reports. We're sending out 5 to 10 of those a week. So you're going to keep seeing rehab numbers, how much it costs to renovate properties. And if you watch the videos, the inspection videos, you're going to see the condition of the property. You can look at the rehab budgets that we're putting together, and you can reverse engineer how much it should cost on average to rehab these types of projects. So that's going to put you in the driver's seat there. So now you know the cost of construction better. Maybe you've come out for a ride along, spent the day with me in Philly, and you know how long rehab should take, and you have lending relationships, and you know deal analysis. You have access to the course content, the tools, the mentorship. You got me. If you're a Boots on the Ground program member, you can pick up the phone and text me. I don't think you guys understand how rare that is. I really don't. I think you guys think some of these other like talking heads out there that you could just pick up the phone and text them. You can't. I'm making myself available for you guys at a level so that you can accelerate. Or you can't just pick up the phone and text most people out there who are even teaching, who are even in the coaching space. You can't reach them. They don't make themselves available. So sometimes you guys will take that for granted. Like, oh, I could get a hold of you, but I'm still skeptical. And it's like, you don't get it. So you got to stay skeptical and stay broke. I mean, that's what it is, because being skeptical is not profitable. So if you're a highly skeptical person, you're also likely very tight on money because you're not taking shots. It's like if I was a basketball player and I got into a game and I was skeptical of my ability to make jump shots. So what's the result of me being skeptical of my ability to make jump shots? I'm not going to take shots. How is that going to lead to me scoring? Me being skeptical. Now I could say I need to work on my jumper. I need to learn more about how to shoot. I need to get more reps. That would be a positive activity that would lead to me making more shots. But being skeptical of my ability to make shots, it does nothing. It just leaves you in a lack position. But that's how it will help you to do 5 to 10 deals on your own, is understanding what we're doing. Come out to a real estate ride along. Our next real estate ride along is August 31st. Links in the description. If you just came out to a ride along tour, I'm actively rehabbing 20 to 30 properties right now. So you could just come out and see how that's done, and then you'll understand it better and you'll be able to do it. So being around somebody who's doing it is the easiest way for you to do it, because you can pick my brain and ask me anything about how I'm doing it, and I'm going to tell you. And I'm giving you access to the same lenders and relationships and resources. There's really, I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm giving you the direct path. I'm leading you to the water. All you have to do literally is drink. So finding a local RIA and go to some meetings and talk to people, that can help if you find a local RIA. But I've had people do that, and without the proper education, you don't know how to take advantage of the relationships at the RIA, which is a real estate investment club, essentially. So you go to the meeting and everybody's talking real estate. They're talking so far over your head, you still can't get any value. Because you're there, you're like, I still don't know nothing. Nobody's teaching me anything. You don't know who to network with or why. So that's not even the solution. The solution is education. Because if you, like, I had somebody I was working with and they were talking about the meeting, I got them rerouted in terms of, here's how you navigate these meetings. Here's who you need to talk to. Here's how you can get deals going. Completely changed everything. They're like, oh, now I know how to use this thing. I didn't know what I was doing. Any way you cut it, getting mentorship is going to accelerate you faster than trying to figure it out on your own. And there's a cost to that, a real cost. There's an opportunity cost, and there's an ignorance tax. You can't cheat them. They don't have, there's not like a person who's the ignorance tax person or the opportunity tax person, and you can talk to them and barter with them. Hey, can I not pay the ignorance tax? I just thought I could do better by not doing mentorship. Can I not pay the ignorance tax this time? There's nobody to talk to. There's no HR department. If you choose that path, you're going to pay the ignorance tax. And it could be whatever the cost is for whatever mistake you made. Or you're going to have opportunity costs where you're losing opportunity by wasting time. And you don't really understand. I guess the ignorance is bliss there, because you don't quite understand how much value you're losing, because the ignorance is bliss. Going to a RIA, it can be good, but it's much better when you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you can navigate a little bit better. Brian, what's the best way to scale up your portfolio once you finish your first rehab? Do more deals. Wash, rinse, repeat, do the same thing. Get back on the horse. A lot of people do their first deal, and there's a lot of adrenaline running. Real estate is, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of time. So you do your first deal, adrenaline's running, everything's flowing, and then that deal ends and you're like, all right, I got to 10 it in. You just kind of take a deep breath. And you can fall back into your habits. You can fall back into procrastination. You can fall back into fear, even after doing your first deal sometimes. Not as much fear because you can snap out of it, but you can fall back into like, well, let me just wait. My waiting behavior, my avoidance behavior. Oh, I'm going to wait. I'm going to get back to it. I'll get back to it after the summer. Give myself the summer and then you are wasting time. The best way to scale up your portfolio is to keep your momentum. Real estate's a game. It's just like sports. It's a game of momentum. So if you're making a run, like there's the Wizard, freaking Wizard, the Celtics and the Mavericks game tonight, right? And both of those teams go on incredible runs. They could be down 20 and then tie the game up in a quarter because they go on runs. When you're making a lot of momentum and you're going on a run, don't call a timeout. Don't stop it. Don't sit on the bench and cool off. Stick with the momentum of the game. Stay on a run. So how you scale is by staying in the game. Constantly be looking for new deals. Constantly be thinking about the market, analyzing deals, running numbers, talking to lenders, trying to meet more financing partners to stay active. And eventually the volume will kick in and it will connect. I mean, that's how we closed. Like, how do you close in the Boots on the Ground program? Because I'm, for all intents and purposes, one guy, right? Even though I'm not, I have a team. So when you're tapping into our whole team. But let's say I'm one guy. Through the Boots on the Ground program, which is one program, we close on 6 deals in the last 30 days. Those are closed. That's a 72 property per year pace. 72 properties per year, 6 times 12. Right? I think my math's good enough for that. That's 72 properties a year pace. That could easily increase because we're adding more off-market deal flow into the mix now. That could easily increase to 10 deals per month, 100+ deal per year pace. We put another 9 deals under contract in the last 30 days. So if I can run at that pace, you can run at that pace. You just need to do what I do, which means anybody watching this, if you just did what I do, you could easily do 6 deals a year because I just closed 6 through this program in 30 days. So you can easily do it, just doing the same things. And I teach all of it to you in the course anyway. So if you want to see it, just watch the course. I'm not hiding the information. You can ask me a direct question. I'm going to give you the same answer, but it's all in the course already. It's all going to be spewed out on the inner circle calls as well. But that's how you do it. The best way to scale is to keep going. Keep doing the same things that we're teaching you. And if you just keep doing the activity, the momentum kicks in eventually. And you start getting deals through follow-up systems and just being a part of the game. You just keep getting more deals. So doing 5 to 10 deals in a year, anybody watching this could do that if you just tap into the knowledge and follow the blueprint. It's just a blueprint. It's a system. It's the Boots on the Ground system. There is nothing to hide. And there is no competition. I can do it. You can do it too. We can both close 6 deals. And there'll still be another 6 for somebody else. And it's another 6 for somebody else. And another 6 for somebody else. It's just complete abundance. And you can do it anywhere in the country and from out of the country. The Mad Millionaire said, nope, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Try to talk to one of these talking heads. Hey, can I just text you? Can I call you? It's not going to happen, guys. So tap in while you can and take advantage of it. But don't take it for granted because you'll be shocked when you can't find it out there or you come back. And the cost of the Boots on the Ground program is going to increase likely soon. For those who are kind of on the fence there, on the sidelines, I say within the next 30 days, the Boots on the Ground program cost is going to increase. So for new members, if you're not already in, you're going to miss a price point of the Boots on the Ground program that is a steal. For those that are in, you got in at a steal of a price, whether you understand that or not. You got in at a very steal of a price. The price will go up. Jay said, scared money don't make money. Scared Jays don't make Jays. You got to shoot to make the shot. You have to envision making the shot. Envision yourself as a successful real estate investor. What do you look like? What's your morning routine? How much knowledge do you have? What's your mindset? Start figuring that stuff out. Stop being skeptical of everything as if that's going to get you somewhere, because it won't. Take that energy and apply it into something that will actually get you results, that will actually educate you, get you closer to that version of yourself. But first, you have to envision that version of yourself. A lot of you don't even know what that version of you looks like because you're not thinking about it, too busy being fearful, thinking about scarcity, lack, doubting yourself and others, which is skepticism. Skepticism is doubting of others, but it's truthfully on the doubt spectrum. So part of it is a doubt of yourself. You're not only skeptical of the other person, you're skeptical of your ability to succeed as a real estate investor. Therefore, the reflection of your skepticism in yourself is projected onto everyone else. As soon as you become more confident in yourself, you won't be skeptical. You'll just find the right opportunity for yourself. And then you'll move in that direction because you'll no longer be a roadblock for yourself. So you have to analyze yourself. You have to stare yourself in the mirror every day and come to these different conclusions. And you have to choose to step off of the emotional roller coaster of real estate. Don't be excited to invest. And that's what's motivating me. Because then as soon as you're fearful, that will be crippling you because you're led by your emotions. And emotions are constantly changing. They're never stable. Logic is stable. The truth is stable. So if you fall in love with the numbers, that's the truth. 65% can get funded. 75 to 80 on the refi. 10% range, closing costs, cash flow, equity buildup. That's the truth. Numbers don't lie. Emotions will lie to you. You might just wake up feeling bad and you're like, oh, the deal's not going to work. Nothing's going to work for me. I knew it. And then you have that self-talk. But that's, emotion-based. So you have to stay away from your own emotions in this real estate game if you want to win. Hey, Brian, with lower inventory, what do we look for in new markets as we expand our portfolios? One, you look for markets that have more inventory. Some have more than others. So even a market like Baltimore has more inventory than Philly, hypothetically at least. I don't know if it has more good inventory than Philly, but it has more inventory. So you look for markets that have inventory. Just by learning how to invest out of state, you're no longer capped by the inventory in your backyard. So now you can go to different types of markets. So that's one thing that you'll look at. You also want to build more relationships. So it's not about the macroeconomics of, well, inventory or supply is low. Build more relationships with wholesalers. Build more relationships with off-market deal participants. Build relationships with them. Over the course of time, they bear fruit. So just keep going on Craigslist. Keep going on Facebook Marketplace. Keep meeting people who are going after deals. And eventually, they'll start bringing you deals. If you had a network right now of 30 off-market professionals within any market, you would never feel it. You would never feel like negative deal flow because they would be bringing you deals and then the market would produce and then you could go to the auction and you could actually uncover deals just like a realtor does. You could create a motivated seller campaign. So look into that. And then start to think outside of the box as well. So in a tight inventory market, you need the ability to think big, to create value. So how can you add higher density to the property, bedroom, bathroom count, co-living? Can you create an arbitrage through Section 8 investing? All of those things. Being able to think bigger than other investors gives you a competitive advantage where you can outbid them on deals and still make profit. So that's part of the game too. So hopefully that helps, guys. It looks like we got through all the questions. We're wrapping up on time here. So I hope that helps. If you guys have any more questions, DM me, text me, email me, and I'll see you guys on the inner circle call for those who are in. You'll get on the inner circle. Click the links in the description. Get your hands on that stress tester tool. That'll definitely advance you guys as well. And just reach out, stay locked in. Stop being so skeptical, not only of others, but of yourself, of your own ability to execute. Just throw skepticism out the window. Focus on taking action, and you'll get better results. Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor. I'll see you guys on the next one.